Coming to you live from Baldwin Wallace University. Welcome inside our live streaming coverage of the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. It's an OAC men's soccer contest tonight. Baldwin Wallace taking on the Heidelberg Student Princes. Glad to have you on board tonight. I'm Brendan Gulick. The Yellow Jackets are in white. Heidelberg's in their black and orange. We are just about ready to get underway. Off we go. Heidelberg coming in off of a 2-2 draw against, frankly, a pretty good Marietta team. I've been impressed with the way Marietta's program has grown the last couple of years. Marietta's sitting at 4-5-2 on the year. Heidelberg played them in a fairly tight contest, 2-2 the final there. They have taken home 2 points in their last 4 games. Not in the greatest form, but trying to get back into a better spot. Meanwhile, the Yellow Jackets can certainly identify with those sorts of struggles. Jackets are one of 3 teams so far that have not yet won an OAC game. 0-3 at the start of conference play. Jackets have 1 point in their last 4 games. They've lost 3 consecutive to Capital, Ohio Northern, and Otterbein after drawing Oberlin back on the 29th of September. The Jackets are winless in October so far. Most recently, a 4-0 defeat against an Otterbein team that is unbeaten. 9-0-2. Cardinals at the top of the table in the men's soccer standings in league play. Along with John Carroll, they are 3-0 in conference competition. Cardinals are one of the top 15 teams in the country right now. Long ball played in. It was more of a cross than a shot, but pulled out of the air by senior goalkeeper Sigurd Illestad, young man from Norway. Let's give you the starting lineups. Mentioned Illestad is in goal for the Student Princes, who are feeling a little bit of pressure here from the Yellow Jackets. Illestad is allowing almost 1.4 goals per game. He's got a save percentage of .738. Senior defender Jared Chavez, sophomore defender Evan McAllister, senior defender Spencer Treadwell. Those guys are all along the back line. Hussein Faraj, sophomore forward out of Lebanon. Team's leading goal scorer, having a good season so far. 4 goals, 2 assists, is freshman forward Rafael Bellucci Marin, young man from Brazil. Obed Ado is a senior forward from Ghana, but by way of Reynoldsburg, Ohio. Simon Joseph, a senior forward. He's out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Christopher Flores, a sophomore midfielder from Houston, Texas. Trent Green, a freshman midfielder from Greenon High School in Enon, Ohio. And Timothy Zacks, a freshman midfielder out of Pickerington North down near Columbus. First-year head coach is Nick Spell. Josh Waits is his assistant. For the Yellow Jackets, their goalkeeper tonight is the junior from Ontario, Matt Weaver. Weaver is playing in his 7th game of the season tonight. 4 different Yellow Jackets have split time in between the pipes. Zoltan Nagy, Nolan Kellogg, J.T. Brenneman, and Matt Weaver, the team's goalkeepers. Getting a good feel for the high press the Jackets want to play with tonight. Julian Kieras, the team's leading goal scorer, 7 on the year with 4 assists. He was the latest to apply some of that pressure. Trevor Ham, Brandon Garibaldi, Attila Nagy, Alex Gibson, Zach Hoover, Mason Morris, freshman out of Olentangy Berlin High School. I mentioned Kieras, Tommy Buser, Ben Wilson, a freshman from Aurora, Alex Kleck, all starting for the Jackets. Head coach in his 20th season is Reed Ayers. Nick Talgen, Vince Milner, Danny Ruppel, Alex White are his assistants. Right now in OAC competition as the Jackets work it back down to the defensive end in the 4th minute of action. OAC standings, I mentioned Otterbein and John Carroll are at the top of the standings. Good move by Nagy. Wilmington at 2-0-1 also hasn't lost yet, both in conference play but also overall. They are also 9-0-2 to start the season. Jackets will see them coming up here not long from now. Heidelberg wants to move through McAllister, the left back. Chavez working it with Treadwell. Long one played ahead towards Simon Joseph. but too far. It is just barely a throw-in instead of a goal kick. After Wilmington in third place in the league right now, you got a tie for fourth with Capital and Ohio Northern both sitting at 2-1, both having good seasons overall as well. Then Marietta 1-1-1, Heidelberg 0-1-2. Mount Union, BW, Muskingum are all 0-3 in league play. I'll try to give you some updates around the conference when we can across the balance of the evening. Jackets have 6 games left in the regular season as this one is fairly routinely hit at Weaver. After tonight, BW on the road for the next couple. They're at Muskingum on Saturday. They'll head across town to play the John Carroll Blue Streaks on Wednesday night next week before returning home for Wilmington, traveling to Mount Union, and wrapping up the regular season with the Marietta Pioneers coming to town on October 30th. Crossed into the middle, the Jackets were a little bit late to get to it. Still never got all the way to Baluchi Marin. Certainly can't lose sight of him or Hussein Faraj. Good move by the freshman Buser. Stays on the ball. Showcases some good speed, good footwork. Felt a little pressure there from Timothy Zach. Zach is easy to spot. He's got quite a head of hair. That is one distinguishing feature from the freshman out of Pickerington North. As a broadcaster, I love that. Really easy to identify him. Here's Baluchi Marin with a good idea, playing it ahead, but Weaver came to it. So, as I mentioned, the Jackets have been scoreless now for quite some time. The last 3 games in a row have not yielded a Baldwin Wallace goal. Their last score came in the 55th minute when Zach Hoover scored off of a Julian Kieres pass. It was early in the second half of the Oberlin game back on September 29th. A chance perhaps here for Ben Wilson, who plays this wide. Back to Nagy. Gibson. Ham and Garibaldi together. 8th minute, no score. Jackets look like they might be setting up a good attack. They'll play through the far side here, and Zach Hoover. Jackets have moved Zach Hoover outside and brought Alex Kleck in at left center back. So a little bit of a tactical change. Trevor Ham, of course, still as a central defender. Kleck had been out wide on the left for a good chunk of the beginning of the year. Good move by Tommy. Lays it off. Long-range shot. Never got some air underneath it. Easily blocked. Ben Wilson, though, with a good idea. On that far side, controlled by Obed Ado. This is Joseph. I like the creativity there. There's a foul on Heidelberg. Good work rate early in the game from Revere freshman Tommy Buser. Not a surprise for a guy who was a high school All-American. Reed Ayers has certainly seen some really nice flashes from him, but also told me recently that Tommy still makes some freshman mistakes from time to time, but you know the high-end ceiling is there, so you just try to take a deep breath and keep working with him. He's got a chance to be a really good player here. 9th minute, no score. Jackets are making Heidelberg work hard. Meanwhile, elsewhere around the conference tonight, Marietta is at Capital. Muskingum traveled to Alliance. They're playing the Purple Raiders. Wilmington and Ohio Northern are over in Ada with John Carroll and Otterbein, the big matchup in the league tonight. That's certainly one we're going to keep our eye on. Top 2 teams in the conference.
Tonight's game
Blue Streaks are 6-3-2 on the year. Their 3 losses, perhaps a little bit head-scratching in the sense that they were preseason so highly ranked. Here's a chance. Kiris has his shot blocked. And eventually this one comes out. Last year, they only played within the confines of the league, but John Carroll finished the season as the number 1 ranked team in the country. They never trailed all spring. Had a pretty impressive COVID-inflicted season. Carroll's losses this year, 3-2 to Carnegie Mellon, 2-0 to Ohio Wesleyan, who are both outstanding programs. And Penn State Barron got them a couple of weeks ago, 2-1, but Blue Streaks have looked good so far in league play, 3-0, 3-0, 5-1, their victories in the last 3 contests. So looking forward to seeing that one against the Yellow Jackets next week, but we'll certainly keep a close eye on those Otterbein Cardinals and see if maybe they can hand John Carroll a loss tonight. Otterbein's been really good this year. Their only 2 draws are Ohio Wesleyan and Denison, but they have mostly throttled teams. It's actually been a really good year for Otterbein fall sports in general. Bellucci Marin cuts in with the right foot, curling one up there, but Matt Weaver grabs it. Heidelberg and Otterbein are going to play over in Tiffin on Saturday afternoon. John Carroll's won the league the last several years in a row. Maybe the Cardinals could be the team to knock them off here this year. Long ball played ahead for Farage. Dancing around with Hoover. Can't beat him, so instead lays it off. Timothy Zach met emphatically, but a corner kick awarded. Well defended by BW's Ben Wilson. But Timothy Zach earns the first set piece of the night. We are in the 13th minute. No score. Christopher Flores will play this one in. Flores hangs it right at Weaver. Fairly routine play. In fact, the referee's flag went up. I think it's because the ball may have crossed the end line. It did. So it's a goal kick instead of Weaver being able to punt it away. Well, so far so good from BW. A chance for Joseph. Oh, he so badly wanted to hit it. Instead, a long ball played in. Good try from Flores, swinging it all the way across, but Bellucci Marin kind of had his legs cut out from underneath him. The ball was too high over his head, though. Referee says no foul. Raphael stays with that one. McAllister taps it ahead. Joseph has it laid too far out in front of him. Well, so far, a couple of shots for BW, none for Heidelberg, although Student Princes have had a few threatening chances over these last few minutes. Kleck and Nagy clear it out, but Jackets don't build possession. Gibson got spun around. Zach sends it backwards here. A foul on BW. So a long set piece coming for Heidelberg. 15th minute, no score. We are almost a full quarter hour in. Coverage of tonight's game brought to you by BSN Sports and Nike. They're the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics. Another long laser played in right at Weaver. Left his feet, may not have had to though. It's 6'6". Might have picked that one out of the air anyways. Also brought to you by Cleveland Clinic Sports Medicine, the proud medical provider for BW Athletics. And by Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. Back through Illestad. There's quite an international flavor on this Heidelberg roster, especially from the guys that are seeing consistent playing time. Meanwhile, Heidelberg cannot believe they were called for a foul when they were off full speed ahead, racing up the field. The look on Nick Spell's face is all you needed to know. And the referee seems to be motioning toward Obed Ado. He used his right arm to clear things out in an illegal way. Nagy toward Garibati. Well, that's good anticipation by Jared Chavez. Kleck couldn't get it away from Mr. Adu. Perhaps a chance building for the Jackets. Buser reacts nicely. Waiting for some help to catch up to him. He moved too fast for the rest of the offense. Gibson, Garibati feeling some heat. He lost it. Long one plate ahead. So far, so good for the right back, Trent Green. He hasn't had perhaps the same level of action that the other sides have had, and there's a bad foul. That is an easy yellow card awarded. That was not a good tackle. Perhaps a bit out of frustration as the referee signals for the clock to stop, 27:06. He is putting Christopher Flores in the book. Dangerous tackle on Tommy Buser. So a direct kick for Attila Nagy. Perhaps Kiris will take it, but typically this is a Nagy spot. Kiris backs away from it too. Jackets are trying to make a decision how they want to attack this. Maybe Kiris will go with the right foot and sling it. Referee is telling the wall to back up a little bit. Give him a full 10 yards. It'll be Kiris going on goal, and it's punched away. Illestad covered up the left post nicely. I'm not sure what happened there, but the Yellow Jacket throw-in on one hop from Nagy went directly to the keeper, unthreatened. Okay. Almost 20 minutes in, the Yellow Jackets and Student Princes, no score. Playing through McAllister. A shot with the right foot. Weaver, full extension save.
Tonight's men's soccer results and all the Yellow Jacket athletic results can be accessed through the BW Athletic website.
Not sure if it would have gone in, but it certainly would have been close.
Within an hour after most athletic events.
Good work there from Weaver. There's no score between John Carroll and Otterbein. They're in the 24th minute. We'll keep our eye on that one closely. Hasn't been a whole lot of offense for either team. 5 total shots in that contest. But the top 2 teams in the league meeting tonight. Again, 20th minute now of this one. Cleared away. Heidelberg's making the first sub of the night. It is Isaac Wienen in for Flores, sophomore out of Georgetown, Texas. So Wienen comes in the midfield. Joseph turned around a bit. Zach, good idea. It's back-heeled back to him. Trevor Ham, very nicely done. Edu nearly got a clean shot off. And another foul called on Heidelberg. That's the second time now that Edu has drawn the ire of our head referee tonight. It is as comfortable a night as you're ever going to have in the middle of October. 68 degrees, not even a zephyr of wind. Just warm enough, and yet it's just cool enough to remind you that it is fall. Absolutely perfect evening. Great playing conditions. Get another change. This time it's the Yellow Jackets. Michael Tusick coming on. Ben Wilson will have a seat after playing the opening half of the first half. We'll see if Tusick maybe can give the offense a bit of a spark. Tusick usually a starter, but coming on as a reserve tonight. Reed Ayers trying everything he can to maybe shake up the lineup a little bit and get this team going after not having scored their last 3. Foul on the Jackets. Matt Weaver and Sigurd Illestad gotten it done so far. Clean sheets both ways. 22 minutes and change have gone by. Zach taps it forward. He's going to let Trent Green play it in. And found Simon Joseph. Now Bellucci Marin. Teasing the Jacket defense. Rips a shot off a defender. Not enough of a clean window. He certainly gets an A for effort. Treadwell helped initiate that play. Rafael. Good spacing from Heidelberg. Chavez rolls across the middle in the heart of the defense. Heidelberg being patient. They're going to have to make something happen. There's an idea. Good little give and go. Pass from McAllister to Bellucci Marin. Back to Evan. He swings it across into the middle, and it's headed the wrong direction. An excellent try from the dynamic senior forward. But Edu couldn't head it on frame. Another throw in. Edu's a strong player. Not a surprise that the Jackets are trying to mark him as tightly as they are. Rafael to his right. Taps into the middle. Good job by Kieres. Actually, beg your pardon, that was Hoover. The outside back that stepped into a clean spot. Now the Jackets think they could get something going. It falls apart before it ever starts. Bellucci Marin. Good team defense there. Again, the Jackets are in white. Heidelberg's in black and orange. If you've just joined us, still scoreless. Heidelberg 5 shots, 2 on target. Jackets 3 shots, 1 on goal. Garibati protects that one all the way back to Weaver. Garibati, Ham, Kleck, and Hoover. Starting 4 defensive players. All have done a good enough job for BW so far. Nagy, Gibson, Buser, Kieris, Tusick. All on the attack. I'm missing somebody. Mason Morris. Joseph swings this one across. Trent Green. Green gets it back. Working with the substitute Wienen. They can't come up with a proper connection. Heidelberg offensively has been okay this season. 16 goals in 12 games is not fabulous, but it's not terrible. It just puts a lot of pressure on your defense. Student Prince has started the season with 3 straight wins, but since then they are 1-6-2 and only a win over Albion in a 4-1 contest. They scored 4 goals against Albion, and they scored 6 goals. Well, let's call it 5 goals in their first 3 games of the year. So in their wins, they've scored 9 of their 16. But in the other 8 games, they've only scored 7 total. Yellow Jackets, of course, have fallen on hard times themselves. They've showcased an ability pounding Waynesburg and Olivet, both by scores of 4-0. They've got some talent. It just hasn't come together the way they hoped. Jackets also hung 6 on Earlham. BW has scored 21 goals in 14 games. $18 of those have come in their 6 wins. Only 5 goals in their other 8 games, drawing just once. Been shut out too many times. Nagy kept it in bounds. He'll throw in. Just over 18 minutes remaining in the first half. We're closing in on having a half an hour played. This one is headed by a Student Prince. And cleared out. Good job by Obed. Another check on the top game in the conference tonight. Top 2 teams, JCU and Otterbein. They are scoreless in the 32nd minute.
As the team traveled to Tiffin for an Ohio Athletic Conference match against Heidelberg University. They currently lead 1-0.
All right.
That match started at 7.
Sloppy foul by Buser. Tactical, perhaps, but you can't fling your left leg out like that.
Match against Muskegon University at 1 o'clock.
So Timothy Zach in the 28th minute, lining up a free kick here. Decides to play it through Trent Green. Wienen didn't get much on it. Adu turned it over. Oh, jeez. McAllister kicked it off his own face. Kieris almost picked out the back post. Oh, would that have been one of the ultimate highlight reel bloopers you've ever seen? Evan McAllister tried to kick it over his head and fling it back the other way. as Heidelberg brings on Kelly Atito. Yeah, he's on for Adu. And instead, McAllister kicked it off the right side of his own face, kept the ball in play, and gave Kieris essentially a free run ahead. McAllister trying to make up for it, makes a great pass, but an awfully heavy touch. Simon Joseph can't keep it at his own feet. If you can't laugh, you'll cry, right? Nicely done. Jackets restarting things. Bellucci Marin controls it. Good softness to his body there, holding it in. McAllister. Gibson says, hey, where's the foul? No whistle came. I imagine it was probably the right call. Well, the ball control's been good for Heidelberg. They'll flip sides of the field. Almost turned it over. Good pressure. Good patience from the student princes here. And also on the Yellow Jacket side. Good little dummy by Tommy Buser. Waiting for some help. Everybody needs to catch up to him. And then he hit it too firmly. A foul on Buser. We're under 14 minutes in the first half. Heidelberg waiting to bring on a substitute. McAllister having a hard time holding on to that one. Reed Ayers standing over in front of his bench, hands on his hips. Just said something to former All-American Danny Ruppel, now on the coaching staff. That's a foul again on Heidelberg. The referee didn't allow play to start so quickly. He wants to give Kelly Atito a chance to understand what he did wrong. A young man from Taylor, Michigan. The Jackets will restart it. Long way out, but Attila Nagy Jr. will take the kick. Lays it instead to Ham, who steps forward, rips it with a right foot, and puts it practically on Bagley Road. Not threatening at all. Two new faces for Heidelberg. They are bringing on Zane Paul and Ethan White.
And number 26, Zane Paul.
Bellucci Marin, one of the two that heads off, I believe. Yep, the other one is Hussein Faraj. So keep your eye on White, the junior from Buckingham, England. Jackets with a chance now, maybe in the left corner. Chipping it back toward Kieris, who heads it off a defender, McAllister. McAllister needs to stick with it to clear away. Zane Paul, a freshman from Botkins, Ohio. I have to admit, I have to look up where that is. I have never heard of the city of Botkins. Sure, it's a booming metropolis somewhere. I don't want to do the fine folks of Botkins poorly. So let's figure out where that is, shall we? It is way out in western Ohio. If you need a geography lesson, Botkins is south of Lima, north of Piqua. It's also just south of Wapakoneta. So I would say it is roughly halfway between Dayton and Toledo, a little closer to Dayton, but it is also further west off of the I-75 corridor. So there you go. There's your Western Ohio geography lesson for the night. 11:15 and counting here in this first half. Have not yet seen Streetsboro Rocket Shaheen Garamani. He's usually a staple for this offense. Jackets are all on their feet over on the bench. Have a near side throw in. If you joined us late, again, I'm Brendan Gulick. Yellow Jackets trying to get back into their winning form. They've dropped their last three. Here comes Dylan Keeling in place of Michael Tusick. Tusick only came on for a short bit. Both teams have not won a game these last couple of weeks. Could that end tonight? We'll find out. At the moment, no score. Garabati. This is allowed to go all the way through. And Buser, the last to touch it. Spencer Treadwell pressured him. Final 10 minutes of the first half as we now enter the 36th. That's one of the things I love about Buser, his ability to stop and start so quickly. It's rare at this level. You've certainly seen him get going at full speed, how explosive he can be. But to me, it's the agility and the ability to go from a dead stop to full speed in the blink of an eye. As he continues to get stronger and spend time with the strength and conditioning staff here, perhaps good things are in his future. Certainly have to think so. McAllister and Kieras fought for it. Gibson steps forward. Gibson with a right foot curls one in, but nobody is there on the other end of the pass. Keeling was too far behind the play. Another change coming for Heidelberg, and this time it's to replace Simon Joseph. Noah Sherritt coming off the bench. He is from St. Francis de Sales up in Toledo.
The men's and women's cross-country teams return to action on Saturday, October 16th, when they travel to Oberlin to compete in the Intern Regional Rumble hosted by Oberlin College.
Heidelberg wants to play up the right flank. Man, that's good work. Good effort from Alex Kleck. Keeling tried, but to no avail. 38th minute now. Matt Weaver controls. Coverage of the Yellow Jackets tonight presented by the Oswald Company. They'll handle all of your insurance and risk management needs. By Chuck Rotuno and OEC Connection, LLC. They're your global automotive technology provider. And by Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider for Baldwin Wallace University. Nagy from Ham, feeling a little pressure. Trevor. That's the right idea. Garabati was a second too late getting started there. Sherritt. Long way ahead. Nobody there. Real chance here for Kieras. He goes to his right, fakes the shot, stops. Never got a shot off. That is extremely frustrating. 39th minute. Trevor Ham. Maybe a chance here for Keeling, who almost swung and missed. Oh, that was a great look. Just didn't work. John Carroll and Otterbein remain scoreless in the 43rd minute. Top two teams in the league giving each other a tight contest. Haven't seen a ton of shots from either side there. 9 total in the first half. Much like this one, there have been 8 combined shots and only 3 on goal. I think both sides tonight here have been pretty well organized, but the defenses have done a pretty solid effort. Maybe something building here. Good rip, but directly at Illestad. Quick trigger from Mason Morris. Struck it clean, but too directly at the keeper. Zane Paul flips sides of the pitch. This is Chavez playing through Sherritt with one of the substitutions. I believe it was when Sherritt came on. Timothy Zach has moved back into more of a defensive role. Four minutes, 32 seconds and counting before halftime. Quickly thrown in. Hoover. Gibson. Good pesky effort from Simon Joseph. Actually, beg your pardon, that's Kelly Atito. Joseph has come out. Garabati, lots of room to work. Needs to make a decision. Nagy and Buser. Hoover right foots it all the way across. McAllister couldn't clear it, but his teammate Weenan sure did. I love the idea there. Execution just marginally off. Buser comes out of nowhere to repossess it. Maybe a chance here. Good move by Morris. He wants to hit another one. Hoover. Poor pass starts a Heidelberg run. Atito. To his right. Long way out. Misses far right of the target. Good try from Kelly Atito. Like the quick counter there from Heidelberg, but the shot was not threatening. Weaver never really moved much to his left. 2 minutes, 40 seconds before halftime. It's now scoreless at the half in Westerville. Looks like Brian Harisco has 4 of the 5 shots for John Carroll. Otterbein outshot the Blue Streaks 6-5. Had a couple of late chances. 2 misses in the final minute. The Cardinals nearly scoring. But that one level at the break. So is this one with 2 minutes to go. Jacket defense recovering. Timothy Zach pushed forward. Looked like he was playing defense for a moment, but they've realigned themselves with Chavez, McAllister, Treadwell, and Green all back there along the back line again. Jackets will throw in. Garibaldi with 1:35. Alex Gibson. Tito. Ethan White lurking ahead. Instead, they play up the right side. Zane Paul. That's a Heidelberg throw with 1:15. Zach.
One minute remaining in the first half.
Kiris. Good lead pass for Buser. Scorching fast up the field, but that was extremely well defended by Chavez. I'd argue that's the play of the half. My goodness. Jared Chavez, former Parma star, denies Buser an unabated run at the goal. And now with only 20 seconds left, it's much more likely we go level into the break. Jackets trying for one more chance. They've got 12 seconds.
10,
It probably won't come.
8, 7, 6, 5.
They're trying. Kiris turns and kicks it into the middle of the field, and that's that.
0.
And so it's halftime. Baldwin Wallace and Heidelberg still tied. No score. We'll step aside during the break and bring you live streaming coverage of the second half here in just a bit. Heidelberg, 5 shots, 2 on target. The Yellow Jackets had 3 with just 1 on frame. You're watching live streaming coverage of OAC men's soccer on bwyellowjackets.com.
Baldwin Wallace University to help drive the regional technology industry. By granting unprecedented access to patented technology with real-life application, OEC helps enhance and further BW students' educations while preparing them for their future careers. Together with OEC, BW graduates will continue to shape and grow the regional technology community. Visit us at oeconnection.com.
We all have something in common. 206 things, actually. And we at Cleveland Clinic care about every single one of them. Which is why we're open and here for you. Whether it's aching joints or a new hip replacement, there's no reason to live through the pain any longer. For every bone and every breakthrough, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic. Don't delay. For all appointments, call 833-406-CARE.
Clinic Sports Health, we understand athletes. Whether you've been injured or want to improve your performance, we have a team of experts for your needs. Call 877-440-TEAM or visit sports-health.org to learn more. Cleveland Clinic Sports Health, proud medical provider for Baldwin Wallace University student athletes. BW Athletic Department would like to thank its supporters, Cleveland Clinic Sports Medicine, BSN Sports, Nike, Barron's Bus Line, Chuck Rotuno, OAC Connections LLC, Dan Andrews, Olympic Forest Products, Medical Mutual of Ohio, and the Oswald Company. We thank you.
Live streaming coverage of Baldwin Wallace men's soccer continues tonight on BWYellowJackets.com. We're ready to start the second half. It is scoreless between BW and Heidelberg. The Yellow Jackets did not have a ton of opportunities in that first half. Had a couple ones. Frankly, their best looks came from a pretty good ways out. Still looking for that first really good chance anywhere up near the goal. The Jackets have unfortunately not had a single corner kick opportunity yet. Now, to their credit, defensively, they've only allowed one corner kick. But I would say that so far, both of these offenses haven't had great looks. And wouldn't you know it, less than 10 seconds into the start of the half, the Jackets do have a corner. All right. So Mason Morris will take it. 0-0 so far. Morris, low line drive into traffic and knocked away. Kieras swings and misses from a long way out. Good work there from BW. Ham, Kleck, Nagy, Hoover, all out there defensively. Garabati still the right back. Alex Gibson in the midfield. Kieras and Buser. Dylan Keeling gets the second half start. As does Mason Morris. Jackets outshot Heidelberg 8-6 in the first 45 minutes. I think I had said 5-3 earlier, but the stats had jammed up there for a moment. Now they seem to have caught back up. So it's 8-6 BW on the shot chart. This one's from a long way out into the middle. Oh, Morris missed it. This could be a good chance for Heidelberg, just over the top of the bar. Holy smokes, what a chance. Rafael Balucci Marin had an unimpeded shot from right in the middle of the box. I don't know if he tried to be too perfect with it. Man, that was way too good. The Yellow Jackets can't let that happen again. In the meantime, John Carroll and Otterbein, the only two unbeaten and untied teams in the league, they are scoreless in the 52nd minute down in Westerville. Keep you updated on that one. Trent Green fighting with Kieris. Sends it all the way across. McAllister. Jared Chavez pressured by Keeling. BW thought it should have been their throw-in. There's a nice little combination. McAllister, heavy first touch. Too much on it. If you joined us a little bit late tonight, Baldwin Wallace needs to pick up a win. They have lost 3 in a row, and before that 3-match losing streak, they finished with a 2-2 draw against Oberlin. The Jackets have not scored now in their last 7 halves of competition. Good interception, Buser. The referee allowing physical play. Good chance for Morris. He just sends it way off to the right. That's disappointing. Noah Sherritt is out there for Heidelberg to start the half. He was not a starter at the outset of the game. Neither was Isaac Wienen, who is also in the midfield at the moment. Simon Joseph playing on the far side. Heidelberg is using Obed Adu as their center striker. Jackets are living on the offensive end here. Can they get something out of it? More than Morris's errant shot a minute ago. Mason continued to chase it, but to no avail. Gibson to Buser. Mishandled. Both teams have only had 2 shots on goal. There have been a couple of Heidelberg looks that technically weren't shots on goal, but may as well have been.
The 25th nationally ranked football team, 4-1 overall and 3-1 in the OAC, returns to play on Saturday, October 16th, when the team
little chip pass ahead.
for an OAC game against
Wienen
University at 4 o'clock.
now flings it forward.
Game is Saturday, October 23rd, when the team hosts an OAC and 43rd annual Lee Tressel Shrine Classic.
Wienen eyeing to the right-hand side. Adu. Fancy footwork. Opened a window to see, but not to shoot. That's nicely done. Seen some good things from this freshman, Mason Morris. I know he's played a good bit throughout the course of the year, but this was certainly among his more confident work. Poor communication there, but it does not cost Heidelberg. Sigurd Illestad lays out to the left. BW is doing a good job contesting nearly every pass. This has certainly been a competitive game. I just think everybody's looking for a little bit of offense. We are scoreless now. More than 7 minutes into the second half. Foul behind the plate. So free kick. 5th foul on BW. John Carroll and Otterbein, no score in the 57th minute. Zach launches one into the air. Buser thinks he's got room to work. Wants to showcase his own ability. Tommy on it a long time and then overran the heavy touch. You could see the excitement building on his own bench. They wanted to see Tommy take it coast to coast. Just couldn't quite pull it off. That's off Morris. Treadwell. Still a lot of game in front of us. There's a good idea. Ahead for Adu. McAllister right foots it into a defender. Good job. Alex Gibson. Still on McAllister's foot. Now Zach. He hits it into the middle of the box where only a Yellow Jacket stood. Zach Hoover cleans it out. Bellucci Marine. Like the idea there. Share it. Kleck cuts him off. And it is Kleck who draws the foul. The referee gives a stern finger wagging to Noah Sherritt. I admire the tenacity, but can't do that. Long ball hit down the field on this windless night. Maybe one here in the corner. Some build-up for BW, but too many black jerseys around. Keeling had the right idea, throwing it into a good spot. And a foul whistled on Evan McAllister. So a free kick for the Jackets from, frankly, a pretty good area. Got to try to find a way to make something happen here. You get set pieces in good spots like this. Got to get threatening. It's a soft touch ball toward Ham. Buser on the redirect. Through the football uprights. It was a reasonable look. So the game remains scoreless. We are entering the 57th minute. Garabati. Interesting, no foul called there. I thought perhaps Keeling was pushed down. The referee's telling Heidelberg, hey, back it up a little bit. Foul on BW. A couple of guys went down, but nobody seems worse for the wear. Treadwell exchanging passes. Gets it right back from Zach. Treadwell's centering pass, no. Zach gets another crack at it. Garabati. Keeling tries to use his head to pass it to the far side of the field. Going to throw it. Good chance for Heidelberg here. And Attila Nagy Jr. stepped into it. Nagy appears to be all right. A little slow to get up. Bellucci Marin may have stepped on his foot. The referee was all over it. Still scoreless in Westerville. They're in the 62nd minute. Just a few minutes ahead of us here. Green from Treadwell with Morris pulling it away and then losing his footing. Went sliding down on the turf. Nagy claps his hands together in frustration on that lead pass ahead of Buser. He knew he sent it too far out there. Illestad's had 2 shutouts this year. One against Earlham back on September 4th. And one the next day, September the 5th, at Anderson. Those are the only 2 shutout wins for a Heidelberg team that started the season 3-0, and since then, they are 1-6-2. Not only 3-0, they won 3 consecutive road games. It has not been quite as friendly to them since then. Jackets had a good little stretch where they won 3 straight and 5 out of 7 from September the 9th through September 25th. Looked like maybe they were turning the corner a bit. But 3 consecutive losses after a draw. And working on a very long scoreless streak. It's been frustrating for Reed Ayers' club. Jackets are bringing on 2 substitutes. And they are both first-time appearances of the night. Shaheen Garamani, actually, it's Ben Wilson returning. Now, Wilson started the game. Garamani coming on for the first time. Attila Nagy leaves, as does Dylan Keeling. Garamani's played a bunch this year. He's played all 14 games. 1 goal, 1 assist on the season for him. Only taken a couple shots, but he's been a good option on the attack. He'll play out wide on the left. And it looks like Hussein Faraj has come back in for Heidelberg. So we'll keep our eye on Faraj. He's over on the left side of Heidelberg's attack. Bellucci Marin. He's one of the more skilled players on the Student Prince's roster. Like what I've seen from him so far. Little miscommunication gives Morris some space to operate. Mason, good pass to the middle. Buser, heavy touch. McAllister's all over him. And Tommy makes the mistake. Draws the whistle. Turns down and gives McAllister a high five to say, hey, sorry about that. Good sportsmanship. Another BW change waiting in the wings. At the same time, Heidelberg's Kelly Atito will come on next time. Hoover. I like the defensive mentality of Heidelberg's forwards. They've done a good job. Buser cuts in, drills it off of McAllister. Tommy's come up a little limp. Seems like he's okay, but he's reaching over. If he was trying to stretch out his right leg or if he was rubbing his knee. It's kind of odd. One rolled harmlessly into the middle of the field. Nobody there. The referee signals that it went off an elbow. That most certainly hit a forehead, not an arm. The referee did not see that one properly, and you can tell the frustration there from Heidelberg's Noah Sherritt. Free kick for the Jackets. Kleck lays it into the middle of the box. Fans are a little bit upset with no whistle. That one went out of bounds and a Jacket throw coming. And so we'll see changes. Buser out. And the Jackets are bringing on Evan Scott. The Tito on here, at least for the time being, for Adu. Feels like BW starting to shift things in their direction. There's a good long ball played on target from 35 or 40 yards away from the target. Illestad, sure-handed, pulled it in. Bellucci Marin lost control. Kieris, back heel touch. Morris wasn't ready for it. Mason trying to stick with it. And now Timothy Zach pulls away. John Carroll and Heidelberg scoreless in the 64th minute. That's the same spot we are in this contest. By the way, the U.S. men's national team is playing just down I-71 tonight. They've got a 2-1 lead over Costa Rica in the 67th minute. Third round of World Cup qualifying through CONCACAF. They just scored a go-ahead goal. In fact, it was an own goal. I'd love to see the highlight of that. Costa Rica shoots themselves in the foot. So the U.S. with a 2-1 lead. All right, back in front of us here. Good combination idea. McAllister, and cross the touchline. Not much offense to speak of tonight. I mean, we've seen 18 shots. It's not like nobody's had chances, but only 5 of those 18 shots are technically on goal. And when you don't force the opposing goalkeeper to make saves, it's really tough to play with a lead. Heidelberg bringing back on Christopher Flores, who was the first guy this evening to check out. And now he replaces Isaac Wienen, who came on for him way back in the opening 20 minutes of the game. And there's a whistle on Heidelberg. I don't know if this game has been over-officiated, but we certainly have seen an awful lot of whistles. And in fairness, some pretty frustration, or I should say some pretty frustrated looks on faces from both teams tonight. 75% of regulations complete. This one headed down into the middle of the box. Back to Kieris from the top of the 18. It's blocked. Ham doesn't want to let it slip by. Goes wide to Garibaldi. Brandon Garibaldi, 2 dribbles. Passes away. Back wide. Out it goes. Jackets with an injection of life here. It'll stay on this end. Looks like Garibaldi will throw. Evan Scott's wide open. The throw instead went to the corner. Substitution coming on. It's Zane Paul.
Subbing in for Heidelberg, number 26, Zane Paul.
Good effort there from Garamani. That's a foul on Kleck. Zach pushing everybody forward. Trying to get something direct here. I don't know if Matt Weaver has had to touch the ball the entire half. He might have to here. That shot blocked instead. To his right, Flores couldn't hold it off. Much better effort. 70th minute. Baldwin Wallace and Heidelberg. No score. Long throw into the middle, headed straight up into the air. The referee's whistle stops play. Free kick for the Jackets. As BW prepares to bring on a substitute. It's Dylan Keeling who will check in momentarily. It's a short goal kick. Kleck tried to connect with Garamani. Knocked out of bounds. Here comes Keeling. He's on for Kieres.
Subbing in for Baldwin Wallace, number 11, Dylan Keeling.
So BW's leading offensive player subs out. 7 goals, 4 assists in a scoreless game in the final 20 minutes. Perhaps Reed Ayers wants to give him a little breather and maybe bring him back on for the stretch run. Garamani into the middle. I mean, it went off Evan Scott's head, but never really toward the goal. Just off to the side where Illestad got it. Not a great ratio. I can't believe that was called a shot on goal. Jackets apparently 13 shots, of which 4 are on target, and that last header was ruled a shot on goal. I disagree with that. Into the middle. Opportunity. Heidelberg will be disappointed with that. Another missed opportunity for Kelly Atito, who's largely done a good job tonight. Changes for both sides. Attila Nagy returns. So does Simon Joseph. Gibson out for the Jackets. Sherritt off for Heidelberg. 72nd minute. And Hoover will throw in. Long throw by Hoover. Touchdown. Scott almost got it back. This one is just over the top of the bar. Excuse me. Dylan Keeling hit that with just enough touch and just enough spin on it to give it a chance. I think it even caught him off guard, frankly. I don't know if he really anticipated that could have gone in the top corner. Illestad with a good effort. The Jackets with another corner. All the way across and over everyone's head for a goal kick. Goodness gracious, that would have been that would have felt fitting for a game that has seen, frankly, such little good offense to have kind of a sloppy goal like that. And there's a good chance that could be the difference in a game like this. Both teams feel like they very much still have a chance to come away with 3 points. A lot of work to be done. The referee signals advantage to Heidelberg, and they quickly lost that advantage. By the way, Heidelberg's roster, I'm not sure why they were not able to travel their full team. The Yellow Jackets have nearly 40 players on their roster, and it feels like they've got 100 on the sideline compared to the 5 substitutes, plus 6 substitutes, plus 1 goalkeeper that Heidelberg has at its disposal. Hoover and Kleck. Ham. Scott, central forward. Beg your pardon, it's actually Garamani who moved into the middle. Scott playing behind him. You can hear some of the groaning from Yellow Jacket fans. Things are not going their way right now. Swing and miss, stayed with it. Keeling. Garamani wants to lead Scott. Good decision defensively from Green. Just knock it out of play. Give yourself a chance to reset. We get changes for both teams here. Alex Gibson returns. Obed Adu returns. Tito is off for Heidelberg. Ben Wilson out for the Jackets. About to enter the 76th minute.
For Heidelberg, number 17, Obed Adu.
A chance for Gibson, whose shot is off of Zach. Morris wanted to stay with it. The referee's flag went up off the first hit. Several Yellow Jackets give that look up into the heavens as if to say, what is got to give here? Isaac Wienen will come on in a minute. Long ball ahead. Somehow it finds Bellucci Marin, who goes to his right, lays off Adu into the middle, more of a centering pass, but Weaver touches it and controls. Head coach Reed Ayers walked all the way from in front of his own bench down into the corner where a number of his guys have pennies on, trying to stay loose. I'm not sure exactly what he said or who he talked to, but it may have been Buser, who runs back in front of the bench, and I think he's getting ready to come back in the game.
Subbing in for Heidelberg, number 4, Isaac Wienen.
First, though, Wienen returns. That's Bellucci Marin, who's out. Now 81st minute in Westerville. JCU and Otterbein scoreless. Garamani, sweet move. Shaheen chips it all the way across, way too much on it. The idea was there, but the execution, not nearly good enough. Another one played into the middle. Illestad was there. Tap forward by Flores. Good decision. Garabati. Jackets have worked so hard to stay in this mentally when things haven't gone their way offensively. Heidelberg's had very few chances this entire second half.
Subbing in for Baldwin Wallace, number 17.
The public address announcement of Julian Kieris subbing in started when Kieris had not yet checked in. Okay, I promise you, Kieris and Buser are standing on the far sideline there. They have not yet come onto the field. 79th minute, free kick from in front of their own bench, curling toward Ham, but instead a defender got his head on it. Heavy touch, turn, a shot ripped over the top of the bar for a corner. Illestad got a paw on it. Oh, that was such a good chance. Mason Morris almost hit a firecracker into the back of the net.
And number 21, Tommy Buser.
So Buser and Kires return. No surprise to see two of the best offensive options back in there after a short break.
Corner kick, Baldwin Wallace, number 6.
Jackets in the corner. Nagy plays to an open spot. Kires hits to the middle. Ham can't swing and hit. Garabati back to Nagy. Little give and go. Another de facto corner. Julian lays off. Buser sidesteps it. Nothing happens. All this drama and buildup and that final pull of the trigger is just not there right now. Joseph staying with it. Buser, can he run onto it? Not in time. 80 minutes complete. 0-0.
The women's golf team closes out the fall portion of its schedule on Sunday, October 17th, when the team hosts the BW Fall Invitational at the Valley of the Eagles Golf Club in Elyria.
That's a BW throw. Still scoreless in the 83rd minute. Check that now, 84th minute between JCU and Otterbein. Perhaps the Otterbein Cardinals are for real this year. Both teams in a similar situation to this game. We've seen 26 shots combined in that game, but only 7 on goal. In our contest, 23 shots, 8 on goal. Both teams have had some chances, but not forcing the opposing keeper to do a whole heck of a lot. I think you could make the argument the Jackets have been a better team tonight. Not substantially, but certainly in the second half they have been significantly better on the offensive end. They just haven't come up with something. Some of that is to Heidelberg's credit, but some of that is just a lack of execution from BW. The referee was going to give advantage, but instead, when it was lost, gives Heidelberg a free kick from just a few strides onto their side of midfield. 82nd minute. Zach with some weight on it. And Matt Weaver's there. He wants a quick restart. Glance over the right shoulder from Keeling. Flores pulled it off his foot. That's poor. Nagy. Right idea for Morris, but turned it over. Keeling fighting, trying to get it back. Flores too strong there. Now wide left, McAllister. Buser giving him a good run. Cracked out of bounds. Substitutions. Actually just one. It's a Heidelberg change. Adu is off. And they've brought Bellucci Marin back in. Rafael right over there by where the ball went inbounds. Rafael turns, hits it in the air with his left foot. Weaver comes over and aggressively grabs it. That's really good play by Keeling. That's a hard ball to control. But his pass to the right-hand side, I don't know if Buser wasn't anticipating it or if it was just hit with too much heat behind it. Heidelberg throw. 84th minute.
Subbing in for Heidelberg, number 14, Rafael Bellucci Marin.
A chance for Zane Paul, and he overruns it. Goodness gracious. Now Hoover trying to do it himself. Keeling working with Gibson. Into the middle. Kieres, Morris both there. Fell to an open spot. Timothy Zach clears it. Kieres. Nagy. Simon Joseph. That's a bad foul. Alex Kleck commits the foul there. Can't really afford to draw a whistle from that spot this late in the game as we enter the 86th minute. And now a card coming out. Must be on Kleck. Clearly ticked off.
Free kick for Heidelberg, number 20, Christopher Flores.
So Flores stands over it. Jackets building up a wall. Flores trying to figure out if he can sneak one by. Heidelberg's best chance of the second half is ripped into the wall. Flores gets another crack at it and lays a one-hop, easy ball right at Weaver. Bellucci Marin. Bad turnover. Good shot. Wide left. Cannot commit turnovers in the middle of the field in your offensive third. Not with 4 minutes left in regulation. One of these two teams is going to have to come up with some late offense here. No score. We've played 86 minutes. Morris. Oh, he's got him on skates. Morris rips his shot that Illestad saves. Mason Morris showcasing why he was inserted into the starting lineup. He's had several good chances and has easily been the most threatening player for BW, especially in the second half. Weaver over to it. We've seen a good number of substitutions tonight, but both teams have only gone a few guys deep into their bench. Outside of the goalkeepers, just 15 players for both teams have made up the rotations. Entering the 88th minute, another change. This time it's Sherritt for Joseph for Heidelberg. Jackets are bringing Ben Wilson back in the midfield for Morris. And Reed Ayers is trying to give Mason an extra couple minutes, anticipating that this could go to OT and wanting to give Morris just a couple extra minutes to catch his breath before coming back on, I would think, for the start of overtime. Well, apparently that Yellow Jacket yellow card was given to Attila Nagy. At least according to the live stats. I thought that would have gone on Kleck, who was the culprit in that foul. Gibson's give and go was deflected. Fewer than 2 minutes remaining in regulation. Buser taken down. Free kick. Just about at the midfield stripe. Kieris will take it and basically tells everybody else, get all the way ahead. There's only 1:15 left on the timer. Kieris plays it short. Kleck goes back to Gibson in front of his own bench.
1 minute remaining in the second half.
Kieris launches it into the middle, spinning right into a dangerous area. How does nobody get a hand on it? Jacket throw in. Clock's at 45 seconds. Hoover will throw. Can BW score the game's first goal here? No. Illestad, sure-handed. 27 seconds and counting, and we are very likely headed for overtime. Ten seconds.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
90 minutes, not enough. BW and Heidelberg, 0-0 through 90. Jackets are building some momentum, though. We'll see if they can come up with an overtime game winner. Back to Berea here in just a couple of minutes. Ready to start overtime in Berea. Baldwin Wallace and Heidelberg. No score on bwyellowjackets.com. The Jackets certainly had more opportunities and were the better team in the second half, but for all of the buildup that BW had over and over again, they just couldn't get a chance to pull the trigger and take very many good shots. They really only had one that I would consider to be a great look, and it was Mason Morris, who's come back on the game after subbing off for the final 2 minutes. Jackets with most of their best offensive options out on the field at the moment. Still Hoover, Kleck, Ham, and Garibaldi along the back line. Buser, Kieris, Keeling, Morris, Nagy, and Gibson. And that's a mistake by the left back McAllister. Yellow Jackets have played a couple of overtime games. They beat Defiance and Drew Oberlin in extra time. There have been several overtime contests for Heidelberg. In fact, this is their 5th overtime game in their first 13 matches. They've lost 3 and drawn once. Nagy ahead. Nagy gets another crack at it. That's a foul on Kleck. So Timothy Zach will take the free kick. Both teams on pins and needles right now. Building up through the left-hand side, Flores. The referee calls a corner kick. Wow. I could tell you with almost certainty that Flores was the last to touch that before it went out. Let's see if Heidelberg can take advantage. They have not had a corner kick since the first half. Flores plays it in. Nagy got his forehead on it. And the Student Prince's chance sputters away as Morris was fouled. I beg your pardon, Kieris was fouled. And now the referee wants to stop the clock. He wants Kieris and Bellucci Marin to talk with each other. Morris with a good accurate pass across. Ham trying to lead Garibaldi. That's a pretty good through ball. Garibaldi almost got onto it. Good effort on both sides. Good hustle by the Jackets. Good defense from Heidelberg. Top 2 teams in the conference, Otterbein and John Carroll, are in extra time as well. 97th minute, no score. Both teams unbeaten at the top of the league standings. I do not understand why this game is being over-officiated. The referee stops play to force a throw-in from a couple of yards further back. It made no difference. Good pump fake by Nagy. Great hustle by Buser. He's taken down. I mean, that has to be a booking. There's really no other choice. It wasn't a dirty play. McAllister didn't have malicious intent, but there's just no way that you could not issue a card on that play because there was nobody behind Buser, assuming he controls that. Gives away a chance. And now the Yellow Jackets will have a free kick. 5:46 on the clock. Looking for a game winner. Hangs it in the box. And the Yellow Jackets were called for a foul in the box. And now a yellow card is given to Attila Nagy. Good grief. Well, the live stats had said that Nagy had previously been put in the book. I don't believe that was the case because otherwise Nagy would have been sent off there. So they'll make that adjustment. A foul on Kiris. Fans don't like it. The referee telling him to back up a few yards. Sixth minute of overtime, 96th minute of the game. Green turns it over. Keeling into the middle. Buser cuts to his right. Takes the shot right at Sigurd Illestad. Yellow Jacket throw in on the far side. Illestad mishandles it. Oh my gosh, it hits the post. You have got to be kidding me. A lollipop for Illestad. He lost focus. I'm sure his heart skipped a beat. That couldn't have been any easier with no pressure. And the ball glances off the right post. Holy smokes. Jackets not giving up the fight. This is a hungry BW team that hasn't scored in a very long time. On one hand, you really don't want to see a game decided on a play like that. And you'd feel sick for Heidelberg's keeper, Illestad, if it did. On the other hand, Baldwin Wallace right now will literally take a goal any way they can get it. McAllister slots it forward, and it's played through where Weaver grabs it. The Jackets have not scored since the 55th minute 4 games ago. Got trapped underneath the defender. Heidelberg building up. And now a yellow card called behind the play on Buser. I mean, this is getting out of control. I don't think the players are at fault here. Meanwhile, the referee stopped play to issue that yellow card 40 yards behind where the ball was, and now he's going to give Heidelberg a free kick from the middle of the field in the offensive third. Reed Ayers is justifiably irate. 2.5 minutes to play. Zach with the right foot. Another chance at Weaver, and it's pulled in. Buser. 3-on-2. Into the middle. Good defense. Nagy winds up. Maybe another chance for the Jackets. Never materialized. Inside 2 minutes left in overtime. This is still the first overtime period. BW making a sub. Garamani comes in. Keeling heads off.
Baldwin Wallace, number 20, Shaheen Garamani.
Keeling, Buser, and Nagy all have yellow cards. McAllister and Flores have bookings for Heidelberg. 5 yellow cards issued tonight. Hoover into the middle. Dies in space, and it's deflected over the bar. Buser was agonizingly close to a game winner. Another heart-stopping opportunity. And the Jackets have a corner kick with 1:15 to play. Now the clock had stopped for just a brief second because a Heidelberg player was down. Now he's gotten back up and the clock is winding. Corner's on the way in. Hanging in the sky. Another chance punched away by Illestad's right hand. Garamani can't get to it and Heidelberg rids the danger. Referee says play on. Good clean tackle. Garamani. Morris chips it forward. Now they play wide right. 35 seconds for Garibaldi. Kleck. Right foots it. Good connection. Better defense. Boy, that was good effort from Treadwell. Just not giving up on it. Morris, beg your pardon. That's actually Hoover called for the foul. 10 seconds left in overtime.
8, 7,
Zach
6,
bangs one forward.
5, 4,
And we will play a second overtime period.
1-0. At the end of the first overtime period.
One more overtime coming up next. Still looking for the game's first goal in Berea. The start of overtime number 2. We are still scoreless between Baldwin Wallace and Heidelberg in a game that has seen a few fireworks here recently that had nothing to do with anything on the actual scoreboard. A lot of fouls, a lot of whistles, a lot of cards, but no goals. Both teams have had a few chances. Heidelberg has only taken 4 shots since the start of halftime, or I should say the start of the second half. They had 7 shots in the first half, had 4 combined between the second half and the first overtime period. Jackets have been certainly more dangerous since halftime, but they haven't been able to get anything to go home. See if maybe that can change before the next 9 minutes elapse off the clock. BW do anything for a point. You certainly don't want to lose the game. But by the same token, it's been quite a while since the team won, dating back a couple of weeks now. And they feel they've been the better side and would love to come away with 3 points. Heidelberg trying to hang tough and draw a third game in their last 4. They've only won once since starting the season 3-0. They're 1-6-2 since then. Throw in for the Student Princes. McAllister. Good pass. Treadwell plays it wide right. Tapped forward toward Flores. And he's taken down. That's a foul. Free kick for Flores. Not a corner kick, but it'll be a de facto corner.
Free kick for Heidelberg, number
Played into the middle. Zach didn't really get it cleanly. Gets a second chance. Buser over to make a nice defensive play and force an actual corner kick. 7:30 left in regulation. Golden goal in overtime. It's back to Flores, who launches it off of Buser. Look at the effort from the freshman. Top of the 18. Foul on Heidelberg. Knew that was coming. The referee says bring it all the way back. Weaver restarts. Play through Trevor Ham. Good defense. McAllister anticipated that nicely. Change coming for Heidelberg. Simon Joseph checks in for Zane Paul, who's got to run off the far side of the field. The sub taking a second. 6 minutes, 10 seconds and counting in overtime, number 2.
Subbing in for Heidelberg, number 19, Simon Joseph.
Looks like John Carroll and Otterbein ended in a scoreless draw. The top 2 teams in the league stay unbeaten. Otterbein draws for just the 3rd time this year. That means their results elsewhere in the conference are going to become that much more critical. Perhaps the game against Wilmington could be a deciding factor for OAC tournament seeding as Buser heads one over the top of the bar. Good chance, but well over the bar. 5 minutes to go. We will end in a scoreless draw here if no one scores in the next 5. Ham got taken down. That's a foul. Ham runs point here. Kieris. Buser. Gibson. He goes down. Referee chooses to blow the whistle, a bit delayed, but gave the Jackets a chance to hold advantage. And now BW will have a direct kick in the 106th minute. They're about 35 yards from goal. Attila Nagy Jr. will take it.
Free kick for Baldwin Wallace, number 6, Attila Nagy.
Can Nagy deliver? Rips a shot over the top. Looking for that upper 90. Tried to make it happen on his own. Don't blame him. Looks like BW is going to make another change. Keeling is over. Bellucci Marin and Flores together. .245 to play. Down to the final couple minutes. A turnover. Kieris just mishits it. That is so unlike him. Into space. This one is hit over the keeper. Heidelberg in the 108th minute delivers a game winner.
Goal Heidelberg by number 20, Christopher Flores.
The Student Princes.
The final score of tonight's contest, Heidelberg 1, Baldwin Wallace 0.
An unbelievable finish.
As a reminder, the next men's soccer game is Saturday, October
Christopher Flores, the game winner for the Student Princes.
Conference game against Baldwin University at 7 o'clock.
Oh, tough break for the Jackets. 2:24 to go, and Heidelberg scores from a long way out. Just the perfect weight on it, and no chance for Weaver to go up and get it. The Yellow Jackets go over and console him on what had to be a really, really tough way to end the game for Flores. And frankly, not the ending that Kieris wanted either. After that uncharacteristic turnover, kind of led to the start of that play. And the Yellow Jackets lose tonight for the 4th consecutive time in conference play. So Baldwin Wallace falls to 6-8-1. Heidelberg climbs to 5-6-2 on the double overtime game winner in the 108th minute. Flores with his 4th goal of the year, and it's the deciding blow. I'm Brendan Gulick. Thanks for tuning in tonight. The Yellow Jackets will be back at home after a couple of road games. They'll be at Muskingum Saturday, at John Carroll on Wednesday, and then back home Saturday the 23rd to take on Wilmington. That game's at 8 o'clock Saturday the 23rd against the Wilmington Quakers. All smiles for Heidelberg after they earned just their 2nd win over the last 10 contests. That'll do it from Berea. Hope you enjoyed our live streaming coverage tonight. Heidelberg a winner, in double overtime, 1-0. I'm Brendan Gulick. Have a good rest of the night. Thanks for joining us here on BWYellowJackets.com.